So there's different ways of uncapping. Some of them in the commercial industry, you drop this frame into a machine and it runs through the runs through the machine and it uncaps it, comes out on the other side, goes to a spinner. It's really crazy. You do hundreds of frames at a time. So, but for us, for me, my method, this is a capping scratcher. Okay? Cave your comb in and it's going to fall right out of the frame. I recommend foundation on all your honey supers, all your honey frames. You can go foundationless on your brood chambers. In fact, I'm leaning a lot of my bees towards foundationless. I'm letting them build their own comb in the brood chamber, but I like to use foundation in the honey supers because it's much more user friendly. So again, I'm going to scrape these caps off a little bit. It's dripping honey. I'm going to come in here, put it in the extractor. All right, excuse me, young man and ladies. We'll do one more with the scratcher, and then I have two other methods that I use. So has anybody not got a close-up here of scratching? So we'll filter around if we need to. Come around. So again,
you said something about that was good honey in there. What's bad honey?
It's all good. There's no bad honey other than the moisture content. Now you don't want really runny honey. You really don't. And that's what I call summer honey, runny honey. It's not very good for me to market that type of honey. People want fake honey that's, you put on pancakes and whatever, and it's not all runny. However, again, it takes a long time for it to ferment, so it's not a whole lot of worries there if you know you're going to consume it pretty quick. You know what is bad honey? Bees that have been sprayed by the exterminators. Something I didn't speak about backyard beekeeping. There are regulations that you have to follow to keep bees in your backyard. It's not regulated by the local municipalities. It's regulated by the Department of Agriculture. So as long as you follow them guidelines, your neighbors can't fool with you anyway, even if they don't like it. As long as you follow the rules, they can call whoever they want. The inspector's going to come and inspect. If you're within the guidelines, they're going to go to the neighbor and say, I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
So you have to get a permit?
No, you have to register your bees with the Department of Agriculture. Just register your bees. It's $10.
Yeah, it depends on how many hives you have.
Yes, it depends on how many hives you got.
Yeah, I think it was 1 to 5 colonies was $10. They had a.
That's correct. So, okay, I'm about done with this third one. And fight with yellow jackets. Yellow jackets are a honeybee nest invader. They will go and try and invade the colony. So, yeah, the bees will. They'll have fights. They'll have battles. You may witness it. I've witnessed it many times.
But even if they fight each other, they might die.
Yes.
They might battle.
Yes, you're going to see dead bees at the floor at the front of your hive whenever you see a battle between yellow jackets and honeybees, because they're going to defend their nest to the death. We're getting ready to spin this first batch here. All that marking queens and all this stuff about if you come to the Brevard Backyard Beekeepers first Thursday of every month, you'll learn about that stuff.
And where do they meet?
And you also learn that University of Florida Honeybee Research and Extension Lab, University of Minnesota, University of Georgia, all these universities can give you good information. What was the question?
Where do they meet?
Here. Beekeepers.
Okay, so here we go. So everybody's going to have a look. We're just going to have a look. Now you see the honey coming out and swinging onto the walls? You see it? Don't let me hit you in the head now. You have to go around this way. Okay, so you saw it. Come on, let other people come in and look. So don't take a whole lot. Is the honey gate closed? So you can see it swinging on the walls. It's coming out of there. Don't put your hand down in there. It'll chop your fingers off. Okay. So work your way around. Everybody come on around and kind of like a line and go around in a circle if we can. So you can see the honey is slinging off onto the walls. All right, it don't take a whole lot. I can do an hour, 10 frames in an hour myself because I have an electric extractor, so I can walk away and go do other things while mine is spinning. What you got to do, see that? It's almost all out of there in just that short of time. Okay, but the other side still has honey. The other side's still good, so we got to flip it. Put that side to the wall. Yeah, water and yeast. Make it ferment. I don't do meat because I don't drink. Everybody got to see what that, I mean, this is lightweight now. It only weighs about half a pound right now. You remember what it felt like? It was pretty heavy. So here we go. We're all nice and cleaned up.
So you just stick that back in.
I'll put this back in the box. Alright. When I get done with all 10 frames, I put this back in the box and I go put it back on. I particularly in a backyarders situation, I put this right back on that same colony. Those bees come and clean that up and fix everything up, and they continue to use it. If it's not the right time of the year, you let them clean it up and use it, and then you pull it back off because you don't want to have too much space in the hive. So this is just an opportunity for them to clean up. So this is another type that you can use, and this just punctures the cappings. Okay, puts little holes in it. They say it works really good, so I'm going to give it a whirl. And I'm already liking it. Because time is, something I don't have. I got a lot of time, but time, you got to be efficient sometimes. I got 100 colonies, so I have to be efficient as possible. I spend a lot of late nights doing honey. But that was pretty quick. That's ready. I mean, I think I just might have come up with, somebody told me about a better method.
So that's pushing it in.
Yes, this is really puncturing it looks like it's just puncturing the cappings. We'll see how it spins before I say how much I like it. Because, excuse me, question?
I said you talked about saving the cappings earlier. Is that for winter?
No, I save the cappings because you can make beeswax. I mean, essentially it's beeswax. Okay, so you can melt it down and make candles. That's what it is. Same thing to make candles out of. So I didn't know if I told you all this, but the bees are not native to the United States.
Honeybees.
Honeybees are not native. They came over from Europe. Okay, honeybees, exactly. Apis mellifera. So why would you think they would bring them bees over here, Christopher Columbus?
Oh, for the
You
sugar.
had to have honey. They used the wax to make candles because you had to have candles on the ship crossing the ocean. Here we go. I'm just rolling it and puncturing the holes. I bet that boy's got honey in his hair now. No,
How often do the bees make honey that you can be able to take it off the rack?
you get 2 extractions per year. Spring on a healthy colony. It only takes a minute or so for this to heat up.
Hot knife, those are 2 words that need back.
I'm going to go ahead and spin these frames while I'm waiting for it. So anybody that hasn't seen it spinning and slinging honey, come on, because we're spinning these 2. I'm curious to see how well it does. Looks like it's coming out of there pretty good. A little more cappings than I would normally tolerate, but so it's slinging it out of there. Centrifugal force. So I'm going to go ahead and spin these other ones before I start with that next process. please get protection. Don't do it without protection. You know, wear your veils and protection. And smoke. Don't ever do anything with bees without smoke. I can't emphasize that enough. Don't ever do anything with your bees without smoke. I can say that again. And the reason I say that is I just recently got a call from a fella, and he says, "Oh, so I have a management service where I manage other people's bees. They want bees in their backyard, but they don't want to take care of them. They don't have the time, so they pay me." So he calls me and says, "Oh, we got to requeen that hive, boy. They chased me all the way down the driveway." He didn't use smoke. So I went to the hive the next day, and no smoke, and I did my little aggression test on those bees. I actually picked up the box and I dropped it. And the bees didn't even come after me. They came out of the hive a little bit, but they didn't come after me. So these youngsters right here need to back off a little bit because this thing will burn. And this is something that I haven't used but one time, so bear with me. I'm not sure how this works. So this is really hot, like a knife. We're going to cut this capping right off of there. And they're telling me, they told me how to do it. And
I think you're faster with the first one.
I think so too. This ain't too bad.
Comments you want to see? Makai, you want to see? Caitlin.
So this is just slicing the wax right off the top.
How it's just like coming off so smooth. Alright, go back on so the next week.
Yeah.
Everybody can see that?
So, like, do you have to, like, go, like, around the bees?
Because they're very plentiful. So that's not too bad. I mean, that looks pretty clean. Not bad at all.
What happens if you have neighbors and they're cutting the weeds back? They're close to that.
That's where I guess it pays to have a good relationship with your neighbors. Again, if you follow the guidelines, they can't say a whole lot about it. Now that worked pretty good on this frame because the wax was out past the frame. They don't have an allergic reaction. Some people are highly allergic to kind of like peanut butter. Some people are allergic to peanut butter. So it don't take a whole lot of work. I think this is a really fun activity for kids and for the adults as well. And everybody can join in and have a little fun and, you know, reap the benefits of the bees. Try not to rob all the honey. I don't take all their honey. I like to leave honey on the bees. I don't never, watch it now. I shouldn't say ever, but it's not good practice to take honey out of the brood chamber. That honey in the brood chamber, them bees need that. However, there are times when you are going to take honey out of the brood chamber. Strong colonies, big numbers, booming hives. That's what you want. That helps control with all the other things that the bees are up against. Population surpasses that, so they will outnumber your bees. That's whenever it's critical that you know what your numbers are, and if you're going to treat, what are you going to do to correct that problem? And you need to monitor your mite loads so you know what to do, what not to do going into the fall, because they'll kill your bees. Okay, so we got all our waxy cappings right here, right? So when I get done, I'll take my lid and I put my lid on there and I'll just let it sit for a couple days and let this drain. You can do it that way, or you can use some type of screen over a bucket. Maybe you could take a bucket lid and cut the center out of it, staple you a screen in a bowl fashion and set it on your bucket and dump your cappings in there and let it drip for days, because it takes days for that to happen.
How long
Okay.
does the queen
And
live?
then you can get that honey back.
So queen live.
Queen lives 3, sometimes 5 years. So she lays well over 1 million eggs in the lifetime. Ready? Let it flow.
You want to open it?
Oh, now here comes the little
All right, so let everybody do a little walk around and watch the flowing gold. This is a beekeeper's gold right here. Well, wax is a beekeeper's gold. This is not the most ideal condition we got here, but
I'm serious. I know what you're thinking. They're eyeing it up.
Yeah, it's a lot of honey. Why are we using a plant?
man, that's a lot better.
Why not using a plant?
Now I got honey on my finger and I get to lick it. Pull this closer.
We just kind of made it a little bit more observer friendly. There you go. Come on around, y'all come and have a look if you like and see it flowing out of there. So once you get one, how about walking the back so other people can come in and get one?
Whenever they go to pop their father, they give him a bunch of jelly, all kinds of things. The last day they got was there a penny? And it was more jam.
So we got a gallon and a half off of that. That's 18 pounds.
How many friends?
10. And they weren't full all the way. I'm sorry.
I think go be mine.
What's the difference in the two?
No, that's from Merritt Island. This is from right here.
Oh, okay.
That's from Merritt Island in spring, and this is from right here in spring. Probably a lot of the same foliage, the saw palmettos, the goldberries, wildflower combination.
Well, we had a grove when I was growing up as a kid. We used to have
Give me a call and we'll go through it. I would encourage you to come to our monthly meetings and glean as much information as you can before you get it. So you educate yourself and you don't die.
Yeah, we thought of doing that freaking flow.
Oh, y'all got one already? All right, sounds good. Thank you. Did everybody get honey?
Yeah, I got honey.
I don't want to be greedy. Can I buy more than 5 of those?